All right, let's get into it. Uh, Join on YouTube right here. I'm gonna pin this comment. I haven't been live uh, on two channels at once in a long time, but this is going live on Instagram and I'm going live on YouTube at the same time. And I am Champman. Thank you for tuning in. Alita Studios. Jump on over to YouTube. You'll see what I'm about to break down is my latest royalty statement. K. Lewis Music. We gotta catch up. I talked to some people we know earlier today. Um, let's chat sometime this week around the holiday. But jump over to YouTube. I'm gonna go over my royalty statement. Before I get into that, this is an episode of my podcast, Syncrets to Success. And I'm gonna break it down, elitists. So come on over to YouTube and you'll see Secrets to Success podcast, which is 169 episodes in, or 70 something like that episodes in, and yeah, just been working on a lot of music. I just finished 6 out of 8 trailer albums I'm doing for a library. So the sixth album I completed and submitted to that company where I'm getting most of my royalties from, actually, at least based on the last statement. So when they asked me to do 8 by the end of the year, and they asked me like a month ago, I was like, maybe. And been collaborating with some great producers on these projects so that I can hit that 8 and keep running it up on the royalties, which we'll go over shortly. Also, check out the links in the description of this podcast here on YouTube for some resources that I offer, some resources that I use. This podcast is sponsored by ASTS. They provide some great sounds for us to use, and I'll be doing some more reviews, some plugin stuff. Maybe later tonight. I got to share some Black Friday deals that I'm keeping my eye on as well. And check out some free sync bonuses. If you check out a link in the description, I have access to all the panels I've ever done. Some more announcements coming literally this week for the panels I'm doing for NAMM South by Southwest 2026. We have Sync Spotlight happening again in Atlanta. I'm doing another conference in Nashville called Smash Fest in June. So a lot lining up in 2026. Elitas, can you see the pinned comment here? If you or you might be able to comment. You podcast. Now, it might automatically DM you, but it's the Fingaz one, the number one on YouTube is the YouTube. Uh, B Jammin, thank you for tuning in on YouTube. So I'm trying to do the double duty. All right. So if you're on YouTube, you should see my royalty statement here. I do have to black out some personal information here, and you'll start seeing random numbers throughout. And I'm going to try to break this down. I did this on the last um, my last statement that I got. I probably won't break down every statement, but just to share the journey of, what I'm seeing, how I analyze these statements, what some of this stuff means to me. A lot of it is kind of weird, but again, it's just putting stuff out there. Truth Falls Audio, thank you for tuning in. Jump on over to YouTube. You'll see my royalty statement. All right, so let's get into it. So I'm starting on page 3. Page 1 and 2 are basically just overviews. Page 1 is like account information, total deposit, and everything. I've been seeing on average, let's just say I've made several $1,000s this year from royalties from the BMI statements. So seeing that run up is probably the most I've made in a year for royalties. So I'm seeing that run up because of the sync space, because of working with these companies and libraries. So first, it starts with short duration U.S. Commercial radio. So I don't know who's playing these on the radio. I don't even know how they got to the radio. I do know that when I see this title, like underscore no, supposed to be no drums, I know that's for a specific library that I work with. And the other one, Legend of the Ancient Lands, is actually another library that I did sort of some fantasy cinematic stuff for. And yeah, you see that right here, 13 cents, 18 cents, nothing much there. And you're going to see a lot of low numbers. One that stuff that Ludi Love, thank you for tuning in. Jump on over to YouTube. You see the pinned comment and you'll see me reviewing my royalty statement. B Jammin, so he says, I registered my music with BMI. Yeah, definitely register your music. Also, if you are in the sync space, when you work with sync libraries, ask them, do they register their music or do you have to register on your own? So most of these placements are from music that the company has registered with BMI on my behalf. They have my PRO information. So strings of deceit, I believe, I haven't seen this on a statement before, and I'm liking what I'm seeing because what I'm seeing here is 24 seconds. This is on cable television on Real Housewives of Atlanta, but it's $52, which you typically won't see that high of usage for that low time. Like if you go down, you'll see like 47 seconds. Usually you're going to see like 1 cent, 3 cents, 10 cents. So I'm going to have to do some analytics and see what this one's about. They might have used different pieces of this, and I believe this is from a new library. I got to figure out which library this is. I think this might be from my neoclassical project that I just released for another library. So I got to do some more of that, and I actually want to do more of that sound. the neoclassical trailer sound. I believe that's what that is. But again, $52 for 24 seconds. I will take that any day. If I got that for every statement, every placement I have on here, I would have probably like 50 times as much as what I made off of this. So let's keep going. We have Bravo, the making of a bad boy, Diddy, the making of a bad boy. I shared some of these also from the last statement. Some of them might be repeats or replays or reruns on these channels. So this is, yeah, 52 for 24 seconds is great. K. Lewis, is rare also, unless it's like maybe a theme song. You might get a couple hundred. I don't have a theme song yet. Fingers crossed that I get one hopefully soon. Been working on some. But Darkest Times, 47 seconds. And also $5. Like these 47 seconds for $5, that's also pretty good. Like I said, mostly you're seeing like 1 cent. And it's, I don't know what the super usage is. I don't think I have anything that's been a super usage yet. So I don't know what that is. I'm about to look that up. But that's from when you see BI here, that is background instrumental. So it's not like a theme song or on-screen voice or anything like that. Let's go to Darkness on the Horizon, Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy Cues. I don't have a song titled this, so I wonder if they just bundled a bunch of songs that I submitted and put them into like a Q library. But again, all that adds up to $13 there. So that's pretty decent for what, 3 minutes, less than 3 minutes of music. I'll take it. Then we have Hollywood Demons. I haven't seen that on a statement before. Finding Peace. I gotta see what this is because these titles don't sound familiar. This might be another classical trailer thing. Housewives Gone Bad. And I might do it in this episode. I don't know. Show how I go into IMDb. I have another episode on my podcast where I show you how you can go to IMDb and add your sync credits to IMDb. But this one is 15 seconds for $5. Again, that's pretty respectable. As we go down, you're gonna see that that number go really low, and maybe this number go high. You're going to be seeing like 30 seconds for like 1 penny, which is terrible. I have most of my placements on Catfish from one particular library that I work with. So you'll see a bunch of Catfish on different channels. ID Discovery, Catfish, Darkness on the Horizon, Cody and Brittany. A lot of these episodes are reruns, and you'll see those just start adding up. You know, all the pennies add up over time. But when I see like the 1025, I'm like, what happened there? But it's they used a minute of that queue. And also what I like to do is maybe I go back into this queue, maybe I listen to this album and see, you know, hey, they used 20 minutes overall of this one song. Let me make another album that is similar to this song. An album for me is 10 tracks. So with this particular library, I send them an album, 10 tracks. Do you have edit points in your tracks? Yes. So you're producing packs. I'm producing albums for sync libraries. How many of these placements have lyrics? Right now, none of these have lyrics. These are all instrumentals. I just registered my okay. So yeah, these are all instrumental cues so far. Even let me go back up, bounce for yeah, even those. So even the radio stuff so far, it's all instrumentals. Most of my placements are instrumentals. At least most of the recurring ones. Some of the upfront sync fee stuff might have vocals and lyrics. And if I see any on here that I notice with lyrics, I'll let you know. But so far, these are all instrumentals. So Danger Within, Just Around the Corner, Race Against Time. Sometimes what I did before, I now have ChatGPT, but I would like copy like the whole my whole BMI statement. I would put it in Excel and I would arrange it by titles, and I would just see which titles would show up the most, and then make more of those. In one particular case, the library that landed these placements, they reached out to me a year ago. They're like, "Hey, Catfish is using a lot of this one song. I think it was Eye in the Sky." They were like, "Hey, they're using this a lot. Can you make us another album of songs that sound like this style?" So yeah, but let's keep going. Just Around the Corner again. When I see that $10 for a minute and a half, they used a minute and a half of that. So maybe, obviously the Catfish, they've been using my cues for the last 2 years or so. So maybe I make an album that is similar to this sound and just focus on the sounds I use there, or maybe even use that session for this track as a template. 1025, you see 283 for Race Against Time. And again, with this company also, I'm giving them a bunch of alts. So they don't want the stems. In this case, I make an album. Vera, thank you for tuning in. Or Vera, come on over to YouTube. You see the link in the pinned comment to see my royalty statement. For this library, I'm giving them, let's say the song is called Uncertain Twist, but then I'm also giving them 10 to 20 alternate mixes. They don't want stems, they just want different mixes. So there'll be a mix that's like just drums, or just drum and bass, or in this case, drum and percussion, or no synths, or no piano. And as you can see, they could use the no piano version, but then they could also use the no synth version or the no drum version for different segments. And then you start seeing that recurring pennies add up. Do you ever share writer share? So I own 100% of writer share. In this particular case, hold on, my daughter just texted me. The company owns the publishing. So let me see what my daughter is saying. Is she's asking is her mom asleep? Yeah, she's tired. That's why I am live. Um, but I gotta tell my daughter, let's make sure we do the Grammy U stuff for you this week. I got to get my daughter in Grammy U. They doing so much stuff, and she wants to be a lawyer. I'm like, she's gonna be killing it in the lawyer. She wants to be an entertainment lawyer. All right. Um, where were we? Catfish. So yeah, they have different mixes. So for one track, I can get up to one track I can split up into 10, 15 different versions. That's 10 to 15 different placements I can get because there's different elements of the track. Drums only, no drums, no drum, no bass, no guitar, no synth, no piano, or no brass, whatever the case is. And you see they placed those. So let's keep going. Race Against Time, I think also was a big one that I got a lot of placements with. Um, as you see that here, 24 seconds, 283, 365. And I can also put this now probably in ChatGPT and say, hey, which song made me the most money on my recent royalty statement? And it can analyze this and say, hey, Race Against Time, all the different versions added up to, $500 or whatever the case is. Let's keep going. I'm just going to keep talking. Eye in the Sky, background instrumental, 50. All these are BI background instrumentals. $4. Again, this is a lot for just a handful of tracks. I think this is I Ain't Here to Play. So this one has vocals, but who was it? Elita Studios asked, "Are these instrumentals?" So "I Ain't Here to Play" is a song that has vocals, and as you can tell, they used the no vocal version for that. So basically, the instrumental version. Everything else is just instrumentals, but most of my placements are instrumentals. So this is Catfish, different episodes, and then we have Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, 2 episodes there, and that seems to add up to $70. So decent pay there. All from ID Discovery. That's also just from that one channel, one show on one channel. Uh, Hold on, my daughter said love you. I gotta say love you too. We're gonna see her tomorrow, or actually 2 days. We're heading out for the holiday tomorrow. Let's go down. All right, so $70, not bad, right? Um, MTV2, which is another channel, I guess. And also, I don't watch these shows. I just make music for the libraries. The libraries, I trust the libraries to put the music, get the opportunities, but also start to see something like this. 26 seconds. Now let's go back up here. I was getting 36 seconds. Do I have another 20 something in the 20s? 22 seconds, $5. And also, one thing to note is the percentage. So I ain't here to play no vocal. I only own a quarter of it because I collaborated with 3 other creators on this. I think it was one, maybe 2 producers, 1 producer, 2 singers, something like that. So I only own 25% of it. So going back to the earlier question about the writer share. Typically, if it's instrumental, I own 100% unless I collaborate with the artist. Miguel, jump on over to YouTube. You can check out me reviewing my statement. But in this case, because it was a project that I collaborated with some artists and stuff on, I only own a quarter of that. So in reality, multiply this by 4. So instead of 186, this would be almost $8. And then this would be almost $20. So keep that in mind also. So 22 seconds, $20 for that. Not bad. So if we go down here, when you're seeing 26 seconds, I'm only getting 10 cents, and I own a quarter of that. That's really a 40-cent placement. So again, MTV2, this is still cable television, but 26 seconds, you know, only 10 cents. So that's where you start seeing the pennies. You're going from $70, of a handful of placements to 22 cents. Yeah, jump on over to YouTube, Miguel. I'll see you over here. Let's go to Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I ain't here to play no vocal. They use that a lot actually. So someone's liking that. In my mind, what I'm hearing or what I'm seeing is that okay, there is a music editor or music supervisor for this show who I might not know directly because most of these are from sync libraries, sync agents that I work with. So if I start seeing them landing a lot of my music on their shows or using one particular song, maybe there's a way where I can focus on making more of that song. For that show, for that library. All right, there's some more questions. I'm trying to answer your questions also while going through. I want to make should be a DM elitist. Actually, if you are on Instagram, DM me the word sync, sync for some free sync bonuses, including some insight into the sync space. Let's see how many of these. I want to make music. Do you ever share writer share? So yes, I do share writer share. Would you consider making more videos? How to make a queue for sync libraries? I have a bunch on this podcast. If you go back to some previous episodes, the one I just did was actually I started working on an idea with some new sounds that I suggest people purchase during Black Friday. Ron Music, jump on over to YouTube. You can check it out. My royalty statement. How often do you collaborate? Daily. Right now, I'm working with some producers and rappers and singers. My latest project, I drop an album every 1 to 2 weeks. My latest project is a gospel album that I produced, but worked with artists on that. And I'm collaborating with producers on this uh, album delivery I have to do for this library. Love and hip hop. So one thing I do say no shame in working a full time job and paying bills and taking care of family. I work at I don't need my headphones. I'm like muting myself. I work at National Geographic in DC. This placement is not through working with them directly, but it is just nice to see this on there. This is from a library that I work with. Pickup truck. This actually has vocals also, but this is I own 50%. The vocalist owns the other 50% of the writer share, and that's 29 cents. So the value of that placement is really 58 cents. Um, is Song Trader or Pond 5 any good? I'm not really familiar with Song Trader. Pond 5, maybe starting out. I haven't really worked with them. Actually, Pond 5, I would say no because I think they're doing a lot of AI stuff right now. Same with Audio Jungle. A lot of the those libraries that charge people a subscription to use music from their library, it's hard for you to make a lot of money as a music creator. And also, a lot of them are going to AI, letting AI analyze their tracks so that people can just use AI. So I stay away from them. My tracks, musically, instrumentals are usually 90 seconds to 2 minutes. The songs might be 2 to 2.5 minutes, just depending. Sometimes maybe three max, but two and a half. Once I get to like that 2 minute mark, I'm done for sync. Pickup truck, again, that's a song with vocals. Then we have some more Nat Geo stuff. Nat Geo Wild. Oh, that was Nat Geo Wild. So the total for that is 29 cents. Then we have Oxygen channel, Slowly Escaping Breakup. That is 14 seconds. 38 cents. Now here's some numbers I like. 6'4". I like these numbers. Nerves on Edge. Unknown Serial Killers of America. That sounds like something that I don't watch a lot of TV, but my wife likes shows like that, like Fatal Attraction. I see down there. So this is Nerves on Edge, Shadows Edge, Suspense Unfolding, Shadows Edge, Unknown Serial Killers of cues. So I don't have a song titled that, but again, the company might have bundled a couple of cues together and put them into this package. Then we have tension mounting and anxious atmosphere. All that adds up to 54.19. That's a pretty decent payout. For one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. It's for eight tracks. And the half of it is from tension mounting, 1 minute usage there, and then a 43-second usage here. Which, when you look at it, this was used for 56 seconds, and that paid only half of what the 43-second usage is. So, like I said, you got to start figuring out how to analyze these statements and do some fun like analytics. And again, you can use AI to help you. Just don't put your like personal like social security information and stuff in there. I might do a whole nother AI workshop on how I use AI to help me on the business side. So then we have a bunch of TV1 placements. Let's go to yeah, I like that. I like going to see what it adds up to. $131. For again, not a lot of cues. Not a lot of cues here. One, two, three. This is just 6 episodes. So yeah, that's a decent payout. So let's go. Trouble Lies Ahead. This is 33 seconds for 473. I like that. 54 seconds for 774. Agitation Within, which I see a lot. They use it on one, two, three episodes of this show. So that might be one I need to look into to see. And on this one, it looks like they used it two times. So again, doing the analytics of they use this twice on this episode, Bit of Rivalry. So I think I got to add these also to my IMDb. But yeah, that's $16. Then we have $1. So let me see. This is interesting. So you see, this is 47 seconds. This is 47 seconds. One of them is 16, and one of them is $1. So yeah, then we have Agitation Within. That was a minute usage for 18. Then we have another a 41 second for Foreboding Figures for or almost $9. 53 seconds for Looming Underneath for 11.52. Then we have Unnerving Moments, which did really well on this episode. 326-second placements, adding up to what's that? 650 about. Let's see. I'm hoping to land some Dateline placements. How often does a library want to do the registering with BMI or the pre So in this case, I just send the library of music. I've been sending them 1 to 2 albums a week for the last couple of weeks. These albums were more spread out. I probably did these within the last year. I probably did one every few months for them. But because they asked for it specifically for 8 by the end of the year, I have a feeling that if those place well with their clients over the next, I would say, probably 2 quarters from now, my statement should be at least twice, if not 3 times, what it is right now. Fingers crossed. So I'm gonna keep delivering them these albums, and it doesn't take a lot of effort. I can do an album in a day for them. An album is 10 tracks, 90 seconds, uh, minimum. Let's see, Deadly Dose. Again, that's just stuff. Little, all these seconds add up. All the pennies add up. These add up nicely to 131 for TV1. Shout out to TV1. I might need to talk to them. Then we have VH1, Love and Hip Hop Miami. Eerie Undercurrents. We're getting back down to the lower numbers. Tension Haunts Us. Then we have Eerie Undercurrent, 227, 146. Let's go to the next page here. A bunch of Love and Hip Hop Miami stuff. But again, that's adding up. So my VH1 total is just under $100. I have, looks like they bundled some more cues together here for 52 cents. And then I have, again, more of those cuts. So I had the hype for this drums and bass. So they only use drum and bass or percussion stuff for this in the bass. And then for it full, that's the full version of the song. And then here's a song that I must have had some like mallets. If you don't know what that is, that's like a xylophone marimba. So I must have had a mix that had none of those mallets in there, and all of those add up to $91. So this is where pennies add up. So the current total of cable television, the last quarter, is $419. That is not bad. And that's just cable television usage. So pennies add up. And I got to figure out what the super usage is and what other performances is. Like, how do I get to that level? Is that a theme song? What does that mean? I can even ask ChatGPT. So, what do you add to your IMDb? I can show you that in a little bit if I see how I feel when I'm done going through the statement. Um, let's go to local television. So, local in the U.S. I don't know what local means. If that means like local to a specific area, but slowly escaping. Dateline NBC. 14 seconds, $10. That's actually pretty good for 14 seconds. 20, then we also have almost the same thing. So Blanket, I don't know if that's a channel or a license. Exact same thing, slowly escaping, 14 seconds. Look at this, 25 cents. So you go from $10, exact same usage, probably same, I don't know if it's the same episode, probably same placement. Actually, so we're looking at three I think we're looking at 3 placements here. The exact same thing, probably the exact same episode called Breakup, and same channel actually. So I don't know what the difference is. I see the source here, if it's paying out differently from the different sources, but apparently the blanket source has the bucket for that one. So $13 for the local television there. All right, let's keep going. Internet audio. I don't really get much here. This is from I don't know if people are playing these songs on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, but as you can see, they could be playing anything from a couple seconds or I don't know, but those are pennies. Pennies add up, but you need a lot of pennies to add up. So this is 12 cents overall. This is getting a lot of play on Verizon for some reason. This is all of these are from a neoclassical thriller project I did. So these are all like neoclassical string projects. What do you 90-second minimum and what's the maximum? 2.5 probably. For me, anything if it gets to longer than 2.5 minutes, I zone out. Wet and Wild, that's a really old cue. That's on Apple Verizon. These are just people streaming. I don't know how they're streaming again, but these are pennies. I'll probably skip past Nobody. I don't even remember how that sounds. Ancestral Prayer. This is actually with the library that I work with. Again, once somebody streamed it on Spotify for free, so you're not going to get much payout. To get a penny from that is actually pretty good because if it's free, they're not going to pay you anything. But to get money from Spotify, why not? Be Back After This, Buckle Up, Can't Stop Running. I think all of these actually are from, all of these are from another library that I work with. 32 cents. So let's keep going. As you can see, all of the internet audio from YouTube, TikTok, Tidal, Spotify. This is all from one song. $1.64 grand total. So you're going from the TV placements where it's hundreds of dollars, adding up to $1. All right, let's get back to what is some more TV stuff. Okay, so U.S. performances, internet, audio, visual. This is more of the TV stuff because I'm starting to see some numbers here. The Braxtons, episode 105 and 108, City of Shadows and Dark Side of the City. We have a 38-second placement that got 351 and a 1 minute 22-second placement that got 648. That's just under $10 there. Then we have Hollywood Demons. I've never heard of that show, but they used the Finding Peace. I got to see what this sounds like. I think that's a string cue. Housewives Gone Bad. That was 9 seconds. Some Amazon Video on Demand. This is still in the U.S. So Bad Girls Club. I've seen this. All these shows. Catfish. Obviously, Catfish isn't just on one channel. So I'll see the different placements from different channels from those shows that cues use. Again, these are just pennies that add up over time. Then we have some more Catfish on Amazon. Hollywood Demons. Love and Hip Hop. I am looking for some big numbers, but again, these are pennies that are adding up. 22 cents. The no vocal. So I might have to listen to this one and see, okay, because I think I submitted a lot with vocals, but apparently this one with no vocal is the one that they're liking for Love and Hip Hop, or that editor is liking. Hype for this, drums and bass. Strings of Deceit, I saw that earlier for I think a lot more than that. City of Shadows, Dark Side of the Cities, the Braxtons, Real House. Okay. Let's keep going. Impact New York. I don't know if I've added that one before. Beef is not on the menu. I think I have added that one before. Kingdom Business, Close Knit Circle underscore. That was 10 cents. MILF Manor, Hollywood Demons again, this time on Discovery Plus. 251. Then we have Disney Plus. One of my goals is to land a Disney trailer. I have worked with Disney theme parks. I've created music for Disney theme parks, but I would love to get music on a Disney trailer. Of course, multiple trailers. But got to start with one. Gold Bar Heist, America's Most Wanted, Catfish, which I didn't know that played on Disney Plus. Interesting. Pennies again adding up. A lot of Catfish stuff. Then we have some new stuff. I've seen this on some Last Statements, Dress My Tour, and Northwoods Survival, which was also on uh, National Geographic. Well, of course, Disney owns National, or at least owns that part of National Geographic. Okay, 50%, 133. So we have Hulu, which is also technically Disney, but America's Most Wanted, Gold Bar Heist is the episode. Timing is Everything is the song or the cue. 7 seconds. Darkness on the Horizon. I've seen that a lot. Again, I made that track maybe 2 years ago. Adam Little, thank you for tuning in. Jump on over to YouTube to check out me reviewing my royalty statement. Darkness on the Horizon, 89 cents for a 1 minute play. Then we have Danger Within, 36 seconds for 51 cents for 36 seconds, just around the corner. $1.23 for 127. That's almost a penny a second. 34 for 24. Again, a little over a penny a second. Uncertain Twist. Again, they only use a drum and percussion mix for this one. Race Against Time. I think that was another one that I got a lot of placements with over the last year or so. Pro Jonathan Dorn? Jonathan Dorn. Thank you for tuning in. Jump on over to YouTube to see me going over my royalty statement. I think I don't know what page I'm on. It's 14 pages. I'm on page 9. Almost done. Danger Within, just around the corner. No synth pad, drum and bass, no piano synth. So they're using different mixes for this show. Let's keep going. Dress My Tour, MILF Manor, Northwoods. I've mentioned those already on other channels, but I like seeing these numbers. $38 for 6 placements. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 placements in probably less than 6 minutes, maybe 5 minutes or so of music. Yeah, that stuff adds up. Actually, no, let me go back. I think it's adding all of this up. Yeah, it's adding all this up. Okay, so take that back. That's adding up everything from here, where it says Hulu, on down. But again, it adds up to $38, so I will take it. Then we have another Max, Diddy, the Making of a Bad Boy. 2 songs there. And I also don't. One time I tried last year. I went into one of these Catfish shows where I got a lot of placements on. I don't remember which one. And I watched the episode. It was like an hour, maybe 50 minutes, 55, however long the episode was. And I was like, maybe there's music in there that sounds like my music. I'm like, maybe I made that. But at that point, I had made the music like a year before I watched the episode. So it's hard for me to even pick out my cues in a show because I make a lot of music. I make at least a track a day, averaging 500 a year. T Will, thank you for tuning in. Jump on over to YouTube to see me go over my royalty statement, and I'll get to your questions in a little bit. Elita Studio. Let's go to page 10. Catfish TV show Darkness on the Horizon, Follow the World, Just My Tour. I've seen those up top. MILF Manor, Chaos Unleashed, Best Laid Planes. Again, Making the Bad Boy Max. Then we have some Netflix stuff. Singles, Inferno. Looks like some bundled cues that were put together. So I don't know the exact songs that were used on this particular show, but $2.38. Then we have Paramount Plus. Aerial Adventures is the name of the show. California Dreamin' is the name of the episode. Close Knit Circle is the name of the cue. 32 seconds for a minute. 32 cents for a minute, and then 57 cents for another minute over here for Love and Hip Hop. Same channel. Same. Chinasa, thank you for tuning in. Jump on over to YouTube. See me reviewing my royalty statement as I'm trying to figure out where the pennies are coming from. So they paid 57 cents, but I only own 50% of this, so I got to keep that in mind. Look at the percentage also. So this one, I don't know much because it looks like they bundled some cues together, so I don't know what song they use particular and what 50%. But all of these are just bundled cues that they use probably from a library. Then we have Making History, which is 8 cents for 46 seconds. Real World, I don't know if they make new episodes, but when I first got into Sync, I think that beat is really old, like 15 years old. Real World, I signed a terrible deal and gave like a bunch of instrumental cues to a library, but I'm still seeing those come up with statements. And I don't know if they still play where they still play Real World and Road Rules and all that. If they still make new episodes, I think these are reruns though. Play to Win, no keyboards. 22nd, 53 cents. Then we have Peacock. Shout out to Peacock. I will be making a special announcement tomorrow about one of the panels that I'll be doing for NAM, featuring musicians who work on the music for a show that is on Peacock, I believe. Bad Girls Club, Mind Your Business, Dateline NBC again to see that. We've seen these all before, except Real Housewives of Potomac. I think that's new, at least on the statement that I haven't seen before. The big one is the Strings of Deceit. I gotta figure out what that sounds like, and depending on the company, I might have to give them some more of this stuff because that stuff is those placements are like $20 here for 24. So now I'm like, okay, this has to be. I don't think this is one of those other companies that I'm getting the pennies from, and I'm seeing those big numbers from them. So I got to figure out. I think I know who it is. I just got to confirm. Um, Real Hospice of Potomac again, sold on SLC. I've never heard of that show, but it's but some bundled cues with that. Got the Gridlocked, Summer's House, Martha Vineyard. Uh, $50 for the Peacock placement, so I will take it. Then we have Tubi. Again, some of these shows I've seen on other pages, but on Tubi, on that streaming platform, is 33 cents. And that all adds up to $127 as far as US performance, internet, audiovisual. Again, no super usage, no other performances yet. Then we have other sources. This is the Cable Television Association. That adds up to $4. I don't know what exactly the cues are. Warzone, this is actually a trailer that I did. It was for Survivor. I know that was on one of those trailers, so that might be what the CBS is. And I own 30% of that, which is interesting because I thought I owned more of that. $37.09 there. So multiply that times three. So that placement is really a $100 placement, over $100. So yeah, there's that. Then we have BMI Live, I believe. So when I work with artists, I tell them to register the music they perform live with their PRO. So I believe this artist is performing live, whether it's coffee houses or wherever they are. They're registering their songs. So I'm getting pennies. I own 50% of the songs. So this is a 36-cent placement, but they registered the song with BMI, and it shows up on the BMI Live here. All right. Then we have international performances. This will be Germany, Warzone. Again, that's the trailerized sort of track. That's $8. I don't know exactly what it was used for, or maybe it's for the same CBS Survivor promo, but not too sure. We also have Warzone. So we're getting $10 from international performances of that track. Some more performances on the audiovisual side of broadcast. Might not say the show, it just might say like different channels. But that adds up. I see Catfish here. I see the Diddy making of a bad boy here. Again, this is paying more from Denmark than it paid in the US, which is interesting. $21 and $22 there. I'm liking that. Then we have Germany, Gemma, Singles Inferno, which was on, I believe, Netflix here in the US. I don't know if that's for Netflix Germany, but that's $7.72, 188 there. And then we have different random transmissions. I can't really see what's cues are used there. MILF Manor, another making of the Bad Boy Bad Girls Club here in the UK. But also, it's like good to know where I can say, hey, my music is playing across the world. Literally, it's in the UK, it's in Sweden, it's in Norway, it's in Germany, Mexico, Finland, Denmark, Canada. I've been to Canada, Brazil. So saying like, hey, my music is hitting borders. Let's see. I can say, hey, in the UK, I can tell that "Race Against Time" is the most used cue in the UK, or at least on this episode of Catfish. Let's keep going. I'm almost done with this. Oh no, I'm on page 13. So UK, yeah, UK Catfish is going crazy in the UK. But again, they're pretty just low payouts, but they add up. All the pennies add up. Then we have Fox Stuff, Feel, Last Passenger. I don't know what that is. Is that a show? It says film. Okay. Then we have Love and Hip Hop episode, Married at First Sight in Australia, which is interesting. They used one of my neoclassical cues here. Then we have MILF Manor, uh, and some more cues here that I can't tell which one for the transmission reprograms and rebroadcast. All right, let's keep going. Last page. So all that adds up to 127 for international stuff. And then cable stuff is 500, 419. And then I think this is the last page. Okay, so I think this is just a breakdown of the international stuff by country. So I can say, hey, I'm getting a lot of placements in Denmark off of very little music. Let me see if there are companies in Denmark that I can align with musically to maybe just work with music that I can share with Denmark. Let's see if I might have to mute the computer really quick. If I jump over, if I have time to figure out, go back to the top, do like some of the IMDb stuff. It's going to be a little difficult because I've already put a lot of this information in IMDb, but we'll see what we can figure out. And I do have a whole other episode with doing this on IMDb, and I'm trying to set up my screen so that you can see both sides of the screen, and we'll do a little bit of that. And then I go back to some of these questions. Thank you for tuning in. For those who are tuning in, let me go back. I'm trying to zoom in because the font on these questions are so low. I may have missed your answer regarding how often does the library want to register on your behalf. It's up to them. Yeah, it's up to them, up to their discretion. How do you connect with these companies? So a great resource, if you go back to some episodes ago on this podcast, you can go to a resource called Syncmatch. That's the best resource right now to align with companies who are getting placements actively. But check out my interview with Jesse Josephson on this channel, where he goes into Syncmatch. It's basically a subscription platform that tells you which companies have landed landed music over the last month on the top 300 channels or shows, 300 channels, I believe. And then you can email the companies. You can find the contact info for the companies. Go to their site, figure out how to submit. Sites tell you how to submit. If you go to let's choose one that I know has a submission, pinksharkmusic.com. So for example, you go to this site. If it loads up, I don't work with them. I just work with too many right now. But if you go to not email us, go to contact us, composers. Let's figure out where it's at. I don't think it's under. Let's try contact us. Contact us. Then you go to new artists, composers. Click here, and you'll fill out a form for them, telling them about yourself, submitting some music. They'll tell you how to submit, what to submit. And you fill out that form, and they'll consider your music. Somewhat exclusive, somewhat non-exclusive. So you have to figure out, those different layers. So here's a form for them in particular. You're going to drop a link here. Tell them what kind of, if it's vocal or instrumentals, tell them what PRO you're with, and then confirm that you own your song. That's just one company. There's a bunch of companies out there, but go to Syncmatch. Syncmatch. I haven't logged in a while. Let's see. My computer's also going slow because I'm streaming. So that might not load up. But go to Syncmatch. If I go to Fingaz, Jesse, there we go. It'll tell you. So if I go to tracks, it'll tell me as of it tells you the last month. So 300 plus TV channels are monitored, and it'll break down the top tracks of that month. It'll break down the trends. So there'll be like charts and graphs. I think because my view is half screen, you're not seeing the charts and graphs load up right now, or my computer is just going really slow. But Sync Match, check out the episode with Jesse Josephson where he goes in and dives in on this platform. I think it's my computer going really slow. But you can do some analytics, see what the most top song is, top genres, and things like that. Let me go to IMDb. All right, so let's go to. Let me. I'm trying to find something. Let me see any other questions. Well, this live stream will stay on YouTube. So as long as. Oh, can you still hear me? Let me see. Is my YouTube still streaming? Hopefully, you still hear me. But this will live on my YouTube channel here. Let's go. How do you connect with these companies? Well, this. I like how you went live. Yeah, so I might be missing people on Instagram, but thank you for tuning in. How often do you clarify with OR on the upfront registry? I just wait. So if you submit music to a library, maybe check it. Well, I asked them before working with them overall, like, do they register songs? And then if they're like, yeah, we register them, and then ask them. You can ask them how long it takes them to register, and then if you submit something to them, and they say it takes us 2 months or 3 months or whatever, then check your BMI after 3 months. Let me know if you still hear me. I don't know if my thing is still messing up. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look myself up. Marcus Manderson. I am this first guy here. Let me make sure I'm not missing any text messages. So you can see some of the stuff I started registering already on these shows. So let's go down to, is this page 2? Page 3, bounce for me _ that's just radio. I'm looking for television. Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's be honest. So I'm going to look up Real Housewives of Atlanta, which I don't see on here. So we're going to look up Real Housewives of Atlanta. And can I put in the episode? The episode's called Let's Be Honest. Now I have to do a little bit of research to find that exact episode. So if I'm here on IMDb and I'm going to go to episodes, and I have to guess the season. There might be a way to look. Let me see if I can look. Let's Be Honest. Real Housewives of Atlanta. Nope, I can't see that. So let's go to, I'm going to go to the final page here, 17. I don't see any titles there yet. Let's go to page 16. And I'm just looking for, Let's Be Honest, which was Trey Excellence. Thank you for tuning in. Jump on over to YouTube. So Let's Be Honest is season 16, episode 11. That aired May 18th. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to this page. I'm going to go down to, it should be an edit page. And again, it's going slow, I think, because I'm streaming. And then I'm going to go to the music. I'm just going to do search. Music department. Add 1 credit. Continue. And in this case, I'm going to look up my name, which Marcus Manderson. I might have already registered my song here. What could I add? Musician, music supervisor. And we'll go additional music. And then I could provide explanation. Music placed through a sync library. And I might copy that. Check these updates. It might already be there. We'll find out. Oh, no. So green means it hasn't been registered with that episode yet. So then I could say, submit these updates. And there you go. Let's see. Diddy, Making of a Bad Boy. I believe I have that. I'm going to check my name again. I believe I did that before. Let's go to Hollywood Demons. I don't think I've seen that before. It's apparently a new show. So the episode is called Housewives Gone Bad. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to look up episodes. There's only 6 episodes, so it should be pretty easy to find. And this is episode 4, aired in April. I'm going to go down to edits. So if you want, you can watch me go through this whole process. I don't know if I'm going to go through all 14 pages. I think a lot of the catfish stuff I've already did or done. And this just to say, like, I get a lot of placements through catfish. Music, which I passed. Add 1 credit, continue, put in my name. Additional music. not composer. Do not put composer unless you are the actual composer of the project. And then I'm gonna paste music placed through a sync library. Check these updates. Should be green because I don't think I've used that one before. So then I can submit this one. For Catfish, I know I've done a lot of these episodes. What I can do is I can go look up my name. So I have some shortcuts on my computer. When I type in certain letters, it automatically populates. Rich Roast, thank you for tuning in. Jump over to YouTube. You can see me going over my royalty statement. I'm done going over the statement. Now I'm just going to yeah, the stream was messed up. I don't know what happened. Let me know if I missed your question, Elitis, if I didn't answer one of your questions. When the stream was messed up, but yeah, internet won't let me be great. So if I'm going here, I'm gonna look up the Catfish stuff. Where is previous? Let's go to see all. So I think I've done, like I said, Catfish is, I've had the most placements on there as far as my catalog is concerned. This is taking a while. I don't see Catfish. Oh, okay, I missed it. 11 episodes. So I can like analyze where do I have Cody and Brittany? Do I have Eli and Boulevard? Do I have Genesis and Jerson? I need to get rid of this ad. Let's go back 11 episodes. Season 9. I have Jasmine and Ryan. Do I have Leanna and Jordan? Omar. That might be season 9 or whatever this question mark is. So actually, I don't see Omar and Iris. So if I wanted to, I could add that. It's like up to me. Or if I might be missing it, but I don't see Omar and Iris on my credit list. Or I can make a note of it. Sebastian and I see Sebastian and Allison, and then another show. So I might add Omar and Iris. Let's see. I don't know. Let's go back here. Can I look up the episode? That's what I would love. Omar and Iris. Does it just show me the episode? And it might be Omar, say Catfish. This one, no, that's a podcast. So we'll just go to the show, Catfish, Omar and Iris. But the thing is, with a show like Catfish, trying to find that specific episode because there are hundreds of episodes is kind of tough. So I can go in and look up. There's 274 episodes, so I would have to go through each season. Maybe I could say I think maybe around season, maybe the newer seasons, and then go backwards. But that's where a lot of, like I said, the analytics come in, or where I might be like, I don't feel like doing that right now. Also, what I could do. So let's say I can go here, Catfish, Omar, and Iris episode. Go to Google and search what episode that was, and it might say that was a year ago. So maybe season 9, episode 13. So now I can go back here and be like season 9, maybe I missed it, episode 13, which actually is not listed. So maybe I couldn't register it because it's not actually listed on the site yet. If I wanted to, maybe I could add it. But I have enough there where you know that I have music on Catfish. So let's keep going. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Let me go back to my name here. Danielle, thank you for tuning in. Jump on over to YouTube and you can see me going over my royalty statement. I will probably end this live shortly. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. No, I want to look up my name. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I didn't want to click the title. Actually, I want to click to see if I registered those specific episodes, which is Run It Back and Total Eclipse of the Heart, which I don't have registered. So I can now go here and we're going to look up probably the current season episodes to see if I see Run It Back or Total Eclipse of the Heart, I think is what it was called. Run It Back is right there, so both of them back to back. We'll do Run It Back, and then we'll do Total Eclipse of the Heart. Then I want to go down to Edit again. So again, maybe there's AI that does all this now, or you can hire like a virtual assistant to go through your royalty statement, look at the channels, make sure they register your name properly. I'm gonna make sure this is me. Say additional music. Again, I'm moving fast because I've already been through this process. Run it back. Total eclipse of the heart. That's just page 3. I have a lot more to go through. Your update has been saved. Okay. Let's go to this one. I'm gonna go to edit. Where's edit? Page. Oops, clicking too fast. And I will jump over to see your questions in a little bit. Edit page. Music. Add 1 credit. Put in my name. This one. Additional music. And check these updates. If it's green, it means it hasn't been registered with that show yet. And that's just one page. Again, I'm not going to go through all these pages with you right now. I might do it over time. But yeah, so do you have video about registering on IMDb? So Letus, that is what I'm doing right now. But it is a previous episode where I do this more in depth. But hopefully you caught some of that, and the computer didn't, the stream didn't mess up. And I'll probably keep going through this process later, but I gotta get to making some music for a show. Let's go. Oh, we back. I may have missed your answers regarding whether sync music gets uploaded to DSP. So if it does, it depends on the library. So if I'm working with artists, typically I ask if I can submit music uploaded to DSPs. Depending on the library, some libraries, they don't have their music on streaming. Most instrumental stuff I'm doing, typically not. If it's like an underscore Q. Most of the vocal stuff I typically upload to streaming. And it's just that some libraries don't want you, or some sync agents don't want you have it uploaded. Some require it to be uploaded so that when it places, they can still market and push people to go listen to it on streaming. So how often do you speak on panels? This will be year number 4. I have 3 panels for NAMM. I'll be announcing the first panel tomorrow. Yeah, AI is killing it. I'll probably do a whole other AI workshop. I use AI daily, not to make music, but on the app and stuff. I use it to help me structure albums, help me do email, posts, captions, and things. I use ChatGPT, MiniChat, Gemini. I've used FYI and Claude and Perplexity, but I mostly now just use Gemini and ChatGPT. Do you have video? Okay, had this helped you connect with people within IMDb? I haven't used IMDb to connect with people. I mostly use LinkedIn, and I probably do I want to do a LinkedIn workshop. Hopefully by the end of the year, but I want to do a LinkedIn like networking workshop. I've done some LinkedIn like networking things in the past, but I got to do another one. It's been a couple of years since I did like a networking webinar. IMDb, you can use it to try to find music supervisors, but there's a much better way to do that using LinkedIn, and there's some secret hacks that I use on LinkedIn that I would share in the workshop. I've used IMDb for like, let's say, like I said, I'm doing, let's pick a show, like Grey's Anatomy is a good one. You go to Grey's Anatomy, you can look up the show, and then you can look up like a music supervisor, but you can just go to ChatGPT or ChatGPT or Google, just say who's a music supervisor on the show. Because now if I go here, I can go to, was it cast and crew? I gotta find where it is. I don't go here nearly enough. All cast and crew. And then I can find, I think it's more cast and crew. Or I can do a search for music supervisor, and then it'll tell me the music supervisor for the shows. But again, I can just go to ChatGPT and it'll be like, hey, these 2-3 people are the supervisors for the show. All right, I got to end this video. Any more questions? AI has a place. Yep. Any more questions before I end this episode? This has been almost an hour. Where did I stop? Love and hip hop. Let me see if I go back to the top. Or you can just watch me do more of these, which maybe we'll go till, I can go till 11. Look myself up again. And having this, you don't need this. There are people who get, who have way more placements than me. They're getting hundreds of pages of BMI statements. So there's no way for them to add their stuff at this point. But just starting out, for me, it helps. I am Ferdu. Thank you for tuning in. It helps me in some cases because if I'm submitting to be like a composer for like a film, they want your IMDb, so I can send them this and they'll see some of these placements and things and some of the films I've composed in addition to the additional music stuff. I was gonna look up Love and Hip Hop. Atlanta. I just did those two mamas and pops off the air. I want to go to episodes. 12, the mamas and pop. Yep. Then we have Northwoods. What is this? Nat Geo Wild. See all. And my computer's going slow. Oh, it's this one, Northwood Survival. That's Laid Plains is what I'm looking for. So I think I did that last month. Yeah, so I did that last month. And then all this stuff I can register, so I might do all that in a little bit. Any other questions? Looking forward to watching more videos and meet you after your panel. Yeah, so NAM, January, you have to be there January 22nd, which a lot of people aren't there that early. My panels are the 22nd and the 23rd. The 22nd will be two panels back to back starting at 10 a.m. So you have to be there early. Don't like fly in on the 22nd. You're going to miss the panel. 10 to 12, January 22nd. Let's see if. Oops, I got to not show the Google Docs. NAM show. I don't know if they updated the panelists yet. I sent that to them yesterday or today. There's me. Does it say Thursday? That's last year. Okay. Or this year, but this past year. NAM show 2026. And I might do a whole nother live on the NAM show stuff. Schedule. NAM show information schedule. Which technically is not the schedule. It would be. I'd have to find it and see if they've announced like the panels yet, and if they've announced where my panel will be. But I know the dates, January 22nd and the 23rd, are my sessions and events. That's what I'm looking for. Are my panels, January 22nd at 10 a.m. Let's see if I look up Syncrets. I don't think they let me keep that title this year. Sync. There's one sound for picture workshop. So that will be Lava Hong, me, Brian. Should be one more person. Before that will be a panel at 10 a.m., which I don't see on here yet. And then it'll be Christian Zabala. So yeah, that'll be dope. Then I'll have a panel right before that at 10 a.m. in the same room, Hilton, California, Ballroom B. So you definitely want to join the fun. Lava is with Riot Games. Christian is with Format, basically Marvel. Brian does every trailer you've ever seen. So you definitely want to be in that room. The one before that, I will announce tomorrow what the panel before this will be. So stay tuned. All right, I'm going to end this video. Maybe do some more of these registrations. But have a good night. Let me see. Any more questions? Are you familiar with Taxi Road? I haven't been to Taxi Road Rally, but I know it just happened maybe a couple weeks ago. Never did Taxi, so I'm not familiar with how good they are as far as getting placements with people. I know some people that got placements. I know some people that's been with them for years and haven't gotten any placements. But yeah, never. I just never worked with them, so can't really say either way. But thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for more. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check the link in the description for some products and services that I offer. I also do offer one-on-one consults, and I have a discount on my site right now, Fingaz.com, DAFINGAZ.com. If you use the code Black Friday 25, you get a discount on sample packs or courses that I have on the site. So if I go to sample packs, and I have cinematic drum loops, I have Clap Friday, Volume 1 and 2. I got to bundle that together. I have some courses on making like trailer music or epic cinematic music or horror music or Disney music or cinematic hip hop. And then there's a networking thing, scripts for networking. So if you see this price and use code Black Friday 25, you'll get an additional discount off of that price. And then some more sample packs that I have and offer on my site. In addition, I've made sample packs for most major DAWs and some independent like sample pack companies. Church organs, I actually just used this on the gospel project that I have out. That's called It's called Thank God. It just came out Friday, just in time for Thanksgiving. Shout out to all the artists that worked on that project, which I will also be sending in for sync opportunities as I'm seeing an increase in faith and sync opportunities. So yeah, a lot working, a lot on the plate, especially as we enter the end of the year, trying to finish up a lot of projects by the end of the year. Yeah, I would love to work with Taxi. So I don't know if panelists have to be a part of Taxi or users of Taxi or how that works, but yeah, I've worked with most major sync conferences as well. Taxi is one I have not worked with yet. Um, so yeah, fingers crossed we can make that happen. That would be great. I would love to go. I've heard great things about the conference itself, networking and people that show up there. Um, but as far as a lot of the other ones, I've worked with PMC, AES, NAM, Sync Spotlight, which is in Atlanta. It's going to be in Atlanta again next year, April 9th to 10th, I believe. And South by Southwest, all of them, London, Austin, Sydney. Uh, did some activations at TIFF this year. Yeah, there's a bunch of conferences. Like there's not a lack of conferences, especially music ones. And then a lot of them focus on sync. We can use these samples pack. Some of them are. So the first ones are not. So church organs, sample child's play, and sting endings is. So if it says royalty free, then it's royalty free. But if it doesn't, then it's not. So the Clap Friday loops are, the luxurious keys are, sting endings is, a lot of the newer ones are, and some of the older ones are not. This is MIDI drum loops, so it is royalty free, but it's MIDI loops. Clap Friday royalty free, and then the rest are R RPIC music. Thank you for tuning in. I'm ending this video, but you can jump over to YouTube as I was going over my royalty statement, but you can jump over to YouTube and replay the video. But yeah, if you go here, use code Black Friday 25 for a discount on all this stuff. Also, I have some services that are not discounted, but the price you see here. I also trailblazation services. You see some deals here: 30-minute consult, 60-minute consult, 4 60-minute consults. Then I do some remote production and mixing and things if you are interested on the site. But I might dive in more on these, but I gotta make some music tonight, specifically for a show. So we'll see if I feel like doing more of these. Maybe I'll just do a podcast and do some more of these, see how far I get. Any other questions? Alita Studio or B Jam? B Jamming since birth. Oh, B Jamming since birth. I finally read it out. Sam Witt, thank you for tuning in. And thank you for watching. All right, I'm gonna end this. Be safe and be well, everyone. I actually might go live again because I actually have to do a lot of videos. We're traveling tomorrow, so I want to do at least one, maybe two more episodes of some, like I said, review some plugins. I got to do some stuff before we head out for the holiday. All right, peace.